Morning YouTube, Scott from SE Landscaping. Second week of January, and unfortunately after the huge snowfall we had on Friday, it still hasn't gone away, and we're here on Monday with snow on the ground, so chances are today there'll be very little getting done. I think we'll probably have the guys in doing a bit of maintenance and getting some machines ready to get sent away for service. But what I want to bring you today is we're into the second week of 2021, and by now you should be making your plans for 2021 or already have them in place. Now, I work on the SMART goals process, which has worked for me for many years, and it's what a lot of businesses use, and it's a very easy, specific formula that you can use based on the SMART letters, which have various meanings for people. S-M-A-R-T, some people, like I say, differentiate with what the letters mean, but they all have the same meaning at the end of the day. So R, for instance, some people say relevant, some people say realistic, but they're all the same. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into each subject and just give you a brief idea of what you can set in place using this format. And then what I'll do at the end is I'll do my specific aims as an example, just so that you can see for yourself how I plan ahead, and you can sort of use that as a template if you wish to. Some people might not want to use it, but it's there if you need to. So come to the first one, specific, and you need to be specific on what you're actually looking to achieve this year. So yours could be, for instance, if you're in the domestic trade, you could wish to get 20 new customers this year. Now that might sound a lot, but over the next few minutes we're going to break that down and show you how it's that 20 customers, which at the moment looks massive, is going to look a lot less daunting for you. I mean, that 20 customers potentially, if you are going in there every week for a year and doing a couple of hours and doing bits and bobs of extra jobs, potentially that could be £20,000 worth of work, just as a rough idea. When I was doing a lot of private sector work, I was getting some customers, if you were just cutting the lawns, you were making £500 a year off them. Customers who wanted regular maintenance and wanted you to do everything in the garden and bits and bobs around through the winter just to keep you ticking over, you could get £1,000 from that property. So basing that on £20,000, that's what we're gonna look at. So coming on to measurable, the letter M. This is once you have your list of goals, you need to have a process in place to measure if they're delivering what you're hoping to achieve. So coming back to the 20 customers we discussed earlier, if your aim is to break that down and pick up 5 a month till April, that's a more realistic goal than having the 20 sat there. And if you're ahead or behind that goal, then obviously you've got work to do. If you're behind that goal, you need to advertise more, and you need to go through the advertising streams, which I've spoken about in previous videos. If you're ahead, then it's a bonus, and then you need to reevaluate which direction you want to go, whether you want more customers or whether you're just happy that once you get to the 20 you stop. So A, achievable. So as I said earlier, you shouldn't expect 20 customers to land overnight. You shouldn't start advertising day one and by day two have 20 customers. If you do, you're very, very lucky, or potentially somebody's left an area and you've fallen lucky that somebody's retired or moved away. But breaking the numbers down into weekly or monthly segments, it means that you can monitor the progress and you can gauge if you are ahead or behind your aims. This, again, these letters are very repetitive and they sort of dot into each other as well. This again will tell you whether you need to increase your advertising or if you continue to go where you are and you're already going in the right direction. If things are going okay. Now coming on to realistic, the letter R. As I said earlier, you have to be realistic. You can't expect the customers to land overnight, and that's why we break it down into the smaller segments. So if you have a diary at home, you break it down in your diary and you put in how many customers you aim to achieve each month, and each week, and as you turn on that page, you can again look at the gauge in real time and see where you're actually up to. And finally, timed or timely. So you need to set that time scale for achieving the goals, which in our trade, if you use the quarter from January to the end of March, as a goal, it's always a good period, as usually you get to sort of the first week in April and people have gardeners in place. So that's why we're working on this period, and that's why the majority of gardeners, this period is their period for making money. Yes, you will pick customers up mid-year, customers, like I say, whose gardener retired, if they've moved property, if they're looking for a gardener, if they can't do it anymore themselves. But this 3 months is the key. And January, when work is a lot slacker for a lot of you guys, this is the month where you really need to work on your advertising. Get Facebook posts out. Yes, not every day, so people are getting absolutely bombarded with them, but every couple of days, and drop them in at the right time when you know people are probably sat at home looking at YouTube, or a Sunday morning where people are sat at home making the dinner, looking out the window at the garden, and then they go on the computer and think, oh yes, that's not a bad idea. So timing is key. Think about it. Don't put a post on at 12 o'clock at night while you're sat in bed. It's totally pointless. Most people are asleep, and when they get up, if they don't go back through the news feed, it's pointless. So just try to think about other people. Think about how other people work, and think about how that person will use the internet and other forms of advertising, and what times they will go on, and that will benefit you. You've also got to remember that this plan there's no set plan in business that works. It depends on the climate, whether you're going to exceed or not reach your targets. If you're reaching them, then, like I say, you don't need to do any more advertising unless you really want to go above and beyond. And that's when you take these SMART goals again and you say, right, I've reached my 20 clients. It's mid-January. I've done really well. Can I handle this work? Can I handle more work? And if so, then you set your SMART goals again till the end of March, and you say, right, we're going to aim for 40 customers. So as I said in earlier videos, growth has to be gradual. It's no good saying, right, we've got our 20 customers, we're going to aim for 40. If you're lucky enough to get 40 by February, saying, right, we're going to aim for 60 in March. You need to be able to look back and think, right, I planned for 20. I was confident we could deliver decent services to 20 customers. If you take on 40, 50, are you going to overstretch yourself? Have you got the equipment in place and everything like that? So you've got to think, 20 was the aim, we're going to stick with 20. If, like I say, you think you can handle more and 20 was just a short-term goal, then fair enough, keep going. But just be aware that your existing customers don't need to suffer because you've taken on more work and that you can't handle. So just be mindful that those existing customers you've got will disappear, because your work will drop if you're overstretched. So just think about that, guys. So just moving on to my goals as an example for this year. As I explained on previous videos, our workload is already good this year. So basically my goal, usually this time of year, I'm spending weeks and weeks on advertising, driving industrial estates and making notes of properties, and then coming home and sending brochures out and things. This year, I'm only looking to increase our customer base by about 5 medium-sized jobs. So by medium-sized jobs, what that means to me is sending 2 men into, say, a factory or commercial premises for 2 to 3 hours per visit. And that's all I'm looking to achieve this year. I've said on previous videos, like I say, about growing too fast, which I've just approached the subject with you earlier, and it is very important just to manage your growth. And like I say, I have a plan in place now where that is all I need. Basically, I don't want to take on any more staff this year, although I am advertising currently because I am replacing a guy who unfortunately relocated. So the plan is not to grow in the form of staff, but is to just to get a few more customers that I know we can sustain this year after consolidating last year with the work we had. So SMART goals can work for everything as well, from, like I say, staff, tools, business premises and things like that. And I'll just move on to that now. Equipment, I had listed the equipment I wanted last year, and I'm in a good position this year that I planned ahead, and the equipment that I was wishing for I've already ordered, and they will all be here on the 1st of April or sooner, depending how how the deliveries go. I don't want to get them too early and just have them sat. So, but what I've actually ordered and what I planned for last year was a new Ransomes HR300, which, as you guys know, we've got a Parkway, and this Ransomes HR300 is a rotary. So on sort of wet ground and things, when it's getting too wet at the end of the season for cylinders, this machine will cut the areas and leave a nice finish. What you tend to find with cylinders on wet grass in the winter is you start to make a bit of a mess, because you sort of cutting quite low, so the rotaries come in quite handy. As well as that, we're pushing on a bit more with the battery tools. We've got a bunch of Stihl battery tools on order, and also a new trailer, because excuse me, our new Ransomes is slightly wider than our previous one, so unfortunately we only had about 2 inches on the trailer, so width. So we're gonna look to replace the IFA that we're carrying at the moment. The other good thing about ordering previous, sort of the end of last year, I have a good relationship with the dealers, as most of you know, and what I find is by ordering early, they will actually hold that machine till the right time I need it, but as well as that, they'll hold the price. So where prices in January, February start to go up for mowers and things, I won't get the price increase. I'll get last year's prices. So, and we've got a good relationship. They trust me. They know I'm intending to buy the machine. So it's worth getting some good deals, some good relationships with your dealers. Sorry, and it will pay off for you and save you money. So that's, apart from a few miscellaneous tools and things, just small bits and pieces that we intend to buy. That's pretty much it. So moving on to you guys, you could have a 21-inch mower that you're using currently to cut grass, and it could be 2-year-old, and you could be thinking, I can't afford to replace it unless I get some new customers. Using the Smart Gold technique, what we've said, if you pick them 20 customers up, then you're in a position where you can say, right, I'm in a position to buy that mower now. Now that could be April, that could not be till July, but by having them goals in place, and once you've ticked that off and you know that money's coming in the bank, then that's how you sort of plan for buying your equipment. You're looking ahead and you're working out your costings all the time. Yes, some people might say, right, I'll just go and get a loan and pay for it over the weeks. That's okay, providing you are confident you've got the money in place. But for this is aimed at a lot of new guys who are just setting off, and you've got to think, right, I need the customers in my book before I can actually do that. So that's why plod on with your old mower till July if you need to, but just don't overstretch yourself. Don't have that mower sat in April only doing 2 days a week and you're paying huge repayments on something or that you can't cover and can't sustain because you've got other business costs as well. So as I've said, goals can be set for so many things. Another one I just want to move on to is business premises. I haven't always had a business premises of the size I'm in today. When I started off at home, and I had a bit of an offshoot on the side of the house, sort of an extension that I'd built, and I was using that. And to be honest, I had mowers, I had a small rotavator and everything else. A lot of you guys will probably be the same. And gradually I moved from home once I got too much gear, and I moved into Stihl container. And then I was renting. I rented a couple more Stihl containers, and yes, it's not the easiest of things trying to push, having to unload a mower every night and trying to push a IFA Williams trailer into a Stihl container in a container yard each night. It was tough work. And gradually, as your business grows, you realise that you've got the capital to get a premises. Now, premises are dead money. So basically, I was renting a small unit and it was pretty much dead money. But you need somewhere to operate from. So I was operating in a smaller unit. I then found a larger unit. I managed to get a better deal on the one I'm in today, which is a lot larger, and it wasn't much more than the smaller one. I was looking for a bit of land, but I've been looking for a bit of land for 3 years and there just isn't any land in our area that's available to build on. because you can knock a small unit up on a bit of land for very little money. And the problem is, when you're paying out the amount I'm paying out on a unit, it's something that could go into funding that. I mean, just based on costs of what I know you can build a small unit for, it would have paid for itself over 2 years. And then that's yours as a nest egg to retire. You could sell that on when you retire or whatever, or you could rent it out for once you finished in your business, and it's a revenue stream. But unfortunately, there's very little land around. The other options are, if you're in a smaller house, then and you're renting a unit, you can think about, right, we'll buy a larger house with a couple of garages or a bit of land. And what you can do then is you can run your business from there, and with having the large bit of land, you can build, if you needed to, build an extra unit if the garages aren't big enough. But what it means is the money you're putting into rent in units, that can pay the extra on the mortgage, so you're not actually losing out. But it's the same again. I've looked around for large properties and things, and there's very little around in our area at the moment, and there hasn't been for a number of years. So at the moment, we'll just keep on renting, but we are always looking. So I hope the video has been of help to you guys. Like I say, get them goals down on pieces of paper if you haven't already done so, and get these plans in motion, because the clock is ticking. Before we know it, although there's snow outside and ice and it's cold, we will be cutting grass before you know it. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps. Any questions, drop them below on the comments section and I'll get back to you. Failing that, email address above. Drop me an email, and like I say, I am helping a few guys out at the moment with their growth and business plans, so I don't mind spending 5-10 minutes with you guys if you need any questions answered. So thanks for watching guys, see you on the next one.